Hello there, this is David from David Books and Comics, and today I'm going to talk about I'm going to do a deep dive through the work of Dick Ayers in the pages of Ghost Rider, probably his most important and most seminal of comic book creations. Anyway, you're not looking at the Haunted Horseman, you're looking at the Ghost Rider, because that's a cover from one of the Ghost Rider issues. Initially published by Magazine Enterprises back in 1950. It features an origin story written, as it says there, by Gardner Fox and drawn by Ghost Rider's creator, Dick Ayers. Dick Ayers went on to redraw exactly the same character for Marvel Comics in the same hat and the same horse and everything. In a title called The Ghost Rider. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and show you the issues that I've collected, all 7 issues, including all 7 issues of the later appearances in Western Gunfighters, which features the continuing story of the Ghost Rider. All right, so I will show all the books and then we'll do a deep dive through the books, okay? So this is Magazine Enterprises number 1. And then you have the new origin version of the Ghost Rider, published by Marvel back in February of 1966. That's what the cover date says. And then we have number 2, April 1966. Then we have June, number 3, from 1966. That's number 4. Beautiful cover. August 1966. And then we have number 5. And the tarantula strikes back. And then we have number 6. And number 7. That's the entire run of the initial Marvel version of the Ghost Rider. So all 7 issues, all drawn by the Ghost Rider's creator from the 50s, Dick Ayers. And we'll go and look through the Western Gunfighters issues, and I'll show you those, which often feature the Ghost Rider on the cover. This is number 1. And we have number 2, and it's a beautiful Herb Trimp cover. Nice bright colors. Number 3 is a Dick Ayers cover. And the character you see there is the Black Mask. He's really the Black Rider. It's a reprint of the character, his appearances. This is number 4. And the cover art, yeah, it's hard to tell. But anyway, that's number 4. It's a very rough copy, obviously. You see the tape. And then you have number 5. And then you have number 6, which features a cover by one of the main Western artists, I mean. Not Herb Trimp, John Severin. And here's another beautiful John Severin cover of number 7 of the Ghost Rider. And just when you thought he was killed off, he returns. All right, so we're going to do a deep dive, and I'll show you more about the artwork of Dick Ayers. All right. So before we go on, I'm going to show you what Ghost Rider actually looked like in the initial pages of Tim Holt. And as you can see, he's drawn pretty much, this is a rough facsimile copy of the original Ghost Rider as he appeared in the pages of Magazine Enterprises. And as you can see, Ayers' art is a bit more cartoony, and it features what I would describe as the initial origin. Carl Memling was the creator. You can see the Ghost Rider as he appeared. And in the later stories, not quite, consistent with the standard that he had in the pages of Magazine Enterprises. But then you'll see how his character kind of evolved in the later issues. So here, with cover art featuring the work of Frank Frazetta, the interior art's a little more involved with the character. The story is by Gardner Fox, as an excellent introduction. And it tells you how the Ghost Rider came to be. Basically, he nearly died, and in the moment when he was literally dying, he had all these experts train him how to fight, like Billy Tilghman, Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane, Kit Carson. They are the ones who taught him how to use a gun. And so he comes back to life. That's the origin of the Ghost Rider. So this is a reprint of the Magazine Enterprises issues. All right, so that's what that was like. And you can see by Ayers' art how it's a little more cartoony. What some people describe as cartoony. But I don't know, there's a good quality to it, to the work. And more of an emphasis on horror and fear, I think, which was less so in the later appearance, the Marvel version of Ghost Rider, who was basically the same character. Okay, and then there's a feature called Tales of the Ghost Rider, and further stories, one of the last stories. All right, that's a beautiful little homage to one of the great Western heroes from the 1950s, the Ghost Rider. So this is the first issue, which includes an origin story. You can see Gary Friedrich, Vinnie Coletta as the inker. And vintage 1960s Marvel. Very wordy. Basically the same things. Instead of sing-song as his sidekick, he has this little boy. Teaches him everything. Anyway, very wordy. Atypical of Marvel comics back in the day. The editor was Roy Thomas. And it features a Kid Colt reprint. Yeah. All right. So that's that one. That's issue number 1. Issue number 2 has the first appearance of Tarantula. Very wordy. Oh my god. It's like reading a novel in just a few pages. Some nice visuals thanks to Dick Ayers. And again, aka the style of the Lone Ranger, he shoots the guns out of people's hands. Just incredible visuals, traditional paneling. Ayers was a good artist, one of the better inkers and artists in the business, especially for westerns. And there's a Don Heck story, When a Man's Afraid. All right, so that's number 2. Then you have number 3. And this one is again drawn by Ayers and inked by Vinnie Coletta. Gary Friedrich did the writing. You can see in the paneling just tons of text. It's page 9, Adano. And there's the Ghost Rider. Beautifully drawn, I think. Can't beat these old comics. And there's a story by Stan Lee and Paul Reinman. I remember this. That's a great story, actually. Anyway, so that's number 3. And number 4 is another villain, the Stingray. And again, Coletta and Ayers. Ayers, at this point in his artistic career, was very much influenced by Jack Kirby, who I surmise Jack and John Romita, who are one of the main artists on their 2 top titles, Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. With this work, you don't see any of these crazy paneling that you see among the artistic creativity of other artists. Next dish, the return of the tarantula. And a Stan Lee Saul Brodsky story. All right, so that's that one. This is issue number 5. And this is where the tarantula strikes back. That's the Ghost Rider is behind it all. And yeah, Coletta. Beautiful work. Dick Ayers also did the Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. I believe he also did the um, Savage and his Leatherneck Raiders, Captain Savage. There's a nice splash page where the Tarantula and the Ghost Rider face each other. Beautiful stuff. All right, Flaming Star. And there's a Rawhide Kid with letters. All right, so that's number 5. Just move that aside. Number 6. And yeah, George Bell. So the inking style changed. So you see more of Ayers' work in this one. All right, so that's that one. And that's when she gets sick. It's a major. It's a major part of the Ghost Rider story, which figures later in the issues, which you will see. The Macabre Mystery of the Mountain Man. Okay. So that's issue number 6. And here we have the appearance of the Mountain Man. And Herb Trimp did the inking. So it's kind of... It has heavy inking by Trimp, actually. Yeah, this one leaves everything hanging. And that's how the regular series of the Ghost Rider ends. If it wasn't for Western Gunfighters, which would appear just a few years later, we'd never know what happened. So Hurricane's supposed to make an appearance. And what do we have here? A story by Denny O'Neil and Herb Trimp. The Tough Ones. All right, so that's issue number 7. And then we come to this. And this is an anthology book with several stories. But the story we're interested in is this one. I'll just show you what's in here. So there's the Renegades, a reprint story, and Tales of Fort Rango, an ambitious story with featuring artistic work by Sid Shores, and written by Gary Frieder. And what else do we have? A Stan Lee story. and a Jack Kirby, the Outlaw. All right, so anyway, here we are. We have a story with artwork by Dick Ayers, giving homage to none other than Frank Frazetta, and the inker's Tom Sutton. And there we have the Natalie Brooks there, hanging on for life, which is the continuation from the last issue, number 7, the last regular series appearance of the Ghost Rider. Beautiful, just beautiful. Nice splash page. A little more shadowing, a little more color, a little more action. Okay, tarantulas no more. Okay, so this was from, 1970, August 1970. I'm just curious to see when this was. I think it was 67, actually. 1967. So you had to wait 3 years before you can find out what happened to Natalie. All right, so we'll go through another issue. This is number 2, Western Gunfighters. And we have again the continuation. Clay Riley is really the tarantula unveiled. All right, so this is Ayers and Sutton, and you see more of Ayers' creativities. Better than the original, the heavy inking of the original series. Sutton's art makes it more lively. All right, so it's shorter, and you have a reprint of the Apache Kid. And I think the artwork here is, no, I think it's Romita. It's not, it looks like Joe Maneely, but I think it's Romita. And that was his earlier style. This one is Joe Maneely, the man from Cheyenne. I don't know who this is, who the artist is here. All right, so that's number 2. Then we'll continue on with number 3. And if you look at it, it looks like a reprint, but it's not. It's the man called Hurricane, Harry Kane. And it continues on from that last issue, number 7. So, interesting artwork. He's the fastest draw in the West. All right, so that's that one. Let's see, there's an Apache Kid. And that's a story. There's a Wyatt Earp. Last Roundup. Billy Buckskin. The Western Kids. That's Romita. It's even signed. And who's this? Oh. Yeah, there's a Black Rider story. That's Sid Shores. That's Black Rider. All right, so that's number 3. Move that aside. And we go to a rough copy of number 4. Cover art is by Trimp, I think, but I'm not sure. And that's the Gunhawk facing, this is by Dick Ayers, the Ghost Rider. Nice splash page. All right, so that's that. All right. And that's an Apache Kid story. All right, so that's number 4. And number 5. And that's a Herb Trimp cover. And it's the Ghost Rider facing the Gunhawk. And there he is in all his glory. The inking. Don't think there was Frank Giacoia. Yeah. Giacoia, I think, let the artist do the work. And there's another anthology book. And there's a Gunhawk story, also done by Dick Ayers. And the Renegades. That's all Tom Sutton, this one. Interesting series this was. All right, so that's number 5. Number 6 is another Herb Trimp cover. And it says, The Death of the Ghost Rider. Does he die? We will see. Now rides the Pale Horseman. And you can see Death is at his side. Writers Len Wein, Dick Ayers is the artist, Sid Shores the inker. Let's see what happens. Oh, the Reverend Reaper. How's that for a name? Look at that grin. And there's the Ghost Rider after the good Reverend. Too late. What happens? Carter Slade dies. He does die. What happens after that? So that's after 13 issues. Carter Slade gets killed. All right, so let's see what happens here. It says, back from the dead. Really, let's see. Never say die. And what are they doing? They're going to a funeral. And so we commit the mortal remains of Carter Slade to the earth, whence he sprung, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Drawn by Dick Ayers, with Sid Shores doing the inking. So Carter Slade gets killed. Let's see what happens. Hamilton Slade, his brother. Is that what's going on here? Carter Slade may be dead. He is dead. But guess who comes? It is Hamilton Slade. He returns, or Lincoln Slade, sorry. Lincoln Slade is wearing it now. I know all of Carter's tricks, his secrets, and I guess I'm ready as I'll ever be. There are things to be done before the Ghost Rider can earn his final rest. How's that for an introduction? But the series stopped here, sad to say, with cover art by Herb Trimp, John Severin, I should say. This is John Severin. It's a beautiful reintroduction of the Ghost Rider. And it's Lincoln Slade, Carter's brother, who becomes the Ghost Rider. All right, so that's the Marvel version of the Western gunfighter called the Ghost Rider. I believe Marvel now calls him the Phantom Rider. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this presentation, this deep dive through the work of Dick Ayers in the pages, the many pages of The Ghost Rider, which he started way back in the 1950s with the initial presentation, publication of the Ghost Rider comic books in pages of Magazine Enterprises version of Tim Holt and in his own series, The Ghost Rider. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, remember that thumbs up. Thanks all for your subscriptions. Thanks all for your comments for all my previous videos. And share, like, comment, and thanks everyone for subscribing. Okay, bye.